Hello, guys. My name is Carlos Salinas, and today I will be talking about why Always Sunny in Philadelphia is going to be or is the best TV show, and why the TV show should be the best TV show for you as well. Yes. This is my wife. She's just going to be here for visual cues. She's going to be smiling or frowning, depending on if I'm making a good point or a bad point. So let me get right into it already because I got a little bit of time and I got a lot to say. So my three sources for today are going to be Odyssey.com, by an article written by Brickle Dotson. So I'm going to be using this source specifically to get the points that she's talking about and what makes a good TV show. She has her choices for the points that she's making, but I'm not going to be talking about those choices too much. I'm just going to be talking about the points that she's making and putting Always Sunny into them and why they fit each marker. The second one is another point I'm going to hit, and it's by Rolling Stone, where they interviewed the creator for Mr. Robot, Mr. Sam Esmail. I'm going to reach a point at the end of all the other points that I'm reaching. And I'm going to talk about this one at the end. And then my last source is IMDb, just to provide a little bit more info about Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a group of people, a total of 5 people here, that you'll see. Let me go ahead and get a better picture here, just so I can go ahead and separate them here. So it's a group of 5 people, 3 of them bought a bar in Philadelphia, and they invited their friend here to go ahead and be the waitress. And then this man right here is basically the owner, who comes later on in the show, to go ahead and control everything. But the show started back in 2004. They're at 15 seasons already. So it's just a bunch of group of people who are friends, and they go through a whole bunch of different scenarios with each other that they get themselves into. They're a bunch of basically 5 friends with big egos and small brains, and they run into different situations that they put themselves into, and they get into trouble, and sometimes things blow up in their face that doesn't work out the way they want to. So it's kind of like it's a dark comedy with a bit of irony in it. But let's go ahead and get right into the points on why it's a good TV show here. So we already introduced a television show starts with good characters. So all these characters, by my opinion, are good characters. And I'll go ahead and break down as to why they're good characters. But this is a very obvious point as to why a TV show is good as it is because it starts with the characters. They contain a dynamic friend group. So they are dynamic in their own way. Mac is a complicated person who has a lot of internal conflicts. He also turns out to be gay later on in the show. Dennis has an internal conflict of being very aggressive, an angry person. He's also very manipulative. Frank is a bit of the older person, and you get to see as well. He's a very wealthy person, so you get to see backgrounds of his past life when he was a wealthy person, or he has a very weird history where he was a business owner in Vietnam, or very, very weird background with him. Charlie is a poor person who is a janitor of the bar that they own. So very, very different background with him. And Dee, she's basically the woman inside of the group. She's the only woman in the group. But they also have different outside characters that are also dynamic in their own way. They have a priest that also turned out to be homeless later on in the show. So a lot of dynamic, not only in the main character cast, but also in the side characters as well. 3, they make you feel like a connected member. So the way Always Sunny is shot, the camera is really up front in their action. It's not shot from an outside perspective like a sitcom. It's very, very in your face. And also because the way the running gag is very dark comedy, so they really stab you with like their jokes. And if the joke, sometimes when they talk about a sensitive topic and it really connects with you, you really start to understand them, because sometimes the jokes do hit, and they do make you laugh. Or if they don't and you dislike it, the edgy humor, you're gonna connect with either way, right? Whether you like it or not. So it connects with you in that way. So I'm gonna put these 2 points together because they kind of do mesh. So you fight for the hero. So point 4 on what makes a great TV show: you fight for the hero and support their development, or the show has a love that inspires you and forces you to make hard decisions. So because the gang is just a bunch of egotistical people who get into a bunch of trouble, you end up liking them throughout the show when you watch it, or even just watching one episode, you start to like them. But basically, it's hard to choose whether you like them or not, because they're such a very very bad people. But you support them throughout the entire. The more you get to know them, you support them in their adventures. So I would say that the show does hit these 2 points here. Number 6, you see their growth and encourage their maturing. So, like I mentioned, Mac turned out to be gay. One of the characters actually turns out to be gay later on in the show. You actually do see him go ahead and see that development and how he comes out to his friends, not only his friends but also his dad, and it's a very very emotional development here. So the show does have that as well. They provide you with crazy drama that shocks your life. There's also a episode with one of the characters named Charlie here, who basically he has a struggle with not having a dad through the entire show, which is a running gag. And then in the most recent episode, he ends up crying about it at the end, and it very breaks down, and it's a very emotional scene. And you realize, well, wow, the running gag actually turns out to be the joke that is very serious to him. So that's another very, a very surprising drama that you didn't expect. They cause you pain and heartbreak. In the scenes that I just mentioned, you definitely feel a lot of heartbreak. Laughing hysterically, that's just a given. It's a dark comedy, so you're definitely going to get some laughs. And lastly, 10, this show has a lot of running quotes. If you know them, you know them. If you don't, you don't. But you'll see a lot of people talk about because of the implication. That's one. Rumham. So there's definitely a lot of running gags. I'm sorry I was speeding through this. Other than that, guys, I would recommend watch the show if you haven't already. I would recommend these 2 scenes right here if you can catch a good glimpse. Sorry about that imagery there, but all these are very emotional scenes. I would recommend to watch these 2 scenes just to kind of get a better understanding of what I'm talking about here. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you for watching. Thank you.